So I'm a board certified psychiatrist, and it's my mission to help clinicians practice psychiatry with confidence. And so in this video, we're going to be covering the ADHD stimulants and how specifically I organize them to make learning them very simple. So I remember when I was in my third year of residency, that's our outpatient year in adult residency. And that's when I was getting exposure to ADHD and the stimulant medications. And something I struggled with was, wow, that there's so many of them. And by the end of that year, I had learned the basic ones like Adderall and Ritalin. And then I got into child fellowship where we used a lot more of the stimulants. And then I was learning about Evekeo and Zenzedi and Daytrana and all these like obscure ones. I'm like, what is this? There's so many stimulants. Like, how am I possibly going to remember them all? And so as I've gone about my practice, as I've refined my teaching in our PMHNP Academy, I've come up with this system to remember all the stimulants. And so I want to share it with you so that way you're able to easily organize all the stimulants based on their mechanism, whether they're a methylphenidate, amphetamine, and their duration of action. So you know which one to prescribe when. So the first thing that we got to remember is that very, very basics are that the ADHD stimulants are broken down into two different categories. They're broken down into the methylphenidate category and they're broken down into the amphetamine category. And their mechanism of action is just a little bit different. So let's say we have our presynaptic neuron here, and then we have the the synapse and the postsynaptic neuron over here, right? And then here we have these vesicles, and these vesicles contain dopamine. And so the way that methylphenidate will work, pretty much methylphenidate prevents the reuptake of the dopamine. So let's say, these dots are dopamine. So let's say that dopamine's trying to come in here. Methylphenidate will block this. So right, M, it will block this so the dopamine cannot enter here. And so the dopamine keeps on activating and hitting the postsynaptic neuron, thus getting more dopaminergic and norepinephrine response, right? So, all right, this equals dopamine and norepinephrine. The amphetamine does the exact same thing, plus it helps push out the neurotransmitters into the synapse. All right, the A here, so it does this. So now they're here, right? And then they'll do the same thing. They'll go over here. And then when they try to get reuptaked, then nope, the amphetamine's going to come in and block that. So basically, it blocks the reuptake and it helps release it. So that's why, just anecdotally, amphetamine tends to be considered stronger. You get more of a dopaminergic push. The methylphenidate tends to be starting in kids earlier, or starting kids first, just because of it's less intensive. But obviously, like, amphetamines are also used in kids too. And plenty of adults may use methylphenidate instead of amphetamines. But that's the basics. But now, to remember all the medications, here's a system that I've come up with. The way that I like to divide it is by its duration of action. And they fall into roughly three categories. There's 4 hours, 8 hours, and 12 hours. The 4 hours is usually like 4 to 6. The 8 hours usually 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. And then the 12 hours could be like 10 hours, 12 hours. But I like it 14 hours, but I like to divide it very clean cutly. So let's start with I'll write duration. And so here, this is going to be the 4-hour duration. And so if we split our board, so we have the methylphenidate, and then we have the amphetamine. So the prototypical methylphenidate is Ritalin. So this is Ritalin IR, immediate release. And so this is typically the most common one that you will see prescribed. And then there is also Focalin. This one is prescribed less commonly. The main difference between these two is what isomer of the methylphenidate they use. So Ritalin has a mix of D-methylphenidate, so dexmethylphenidate, and then L-methylphenidate. So D All right, D50 and L50. So what this means is that D is 50% and then L is 50%. Focalin is just straight D, basically dexmethylphenidate. And so that's why, so Focalin is twice as potent as Ritalin. And that's why its dosing tends to be half of Ritalin's. So let's imagine you have Ritalin 10 milligrams. That's equivalent to Focalin 5 milligrams. The D part is the active part. It does the cognitive stimulation. The L part is more physically or like physically stimulating. So like heart rate, blood pressure, that type of thing. So that's the main difference between that. And I always remember like Focalin as in focused. So it's more concentrated. D100. So that's the methylphenidate side, the short 4-hour actings. On the amphetamine side, we have Adderall. So this is Adderall IR. Then we have Evekeo. And then we have Zenzedi. So the Adderall is also a racemic mixture. It's called mixed amphetamine salts. So it's made of these various amphetamine salts. The two most important ones are the dextroamphetamine, the D dextroamphetamine, and then L-amphetamine, which does the peripheral stimulation. And so with the Adderall, the mix is roughly, so D75 and then L25. So the dextro is the more common one there, and that's the cognitively stimulating one. The Evekeo, though, the Evekeo is D50, L50. And I remember that as Evekeo even. Evekeo is even, so they're evenly split here. And so the reason this is important is because if you, let's say you want something more cognitively stimulating, then that's where the Adderall comes in. Let's say you want something maybe a little less cognitively stimulating, and maybe the patient has low blood pressure or something, then the Evekeo comes in. The Zenzedi is like the Focalin, where it's all pure cognition. So this is D100. So it doesn't have the L amphetamine, it's just got the D amphetamine. And the way I remember that is Z, this is the absolute end, and the absolute extreme. And so that's where you get the absolute extreme here too, with the 100. But these are the roughly 4-hour duration stimulants. So that's the 4-hour. And then we get to the 8-hour category. And so in the 8-hour category, the prototypical one is Ritalin. So this is Ritalin long acting. Then we have Metadate. Actually, I'm going to reorder this. Then we have Focalin XR. Then we have Metadate. We have Quilivan XR. And then we also have, and so let's work through these then. So the Ritalin, right? So it's the same mixture as we had before. So the D50, L50. But now with the long acting, what we're adding in is that it's a mix of immediate release plus extended release. And so basically the immediate release is now, the extended release, it's like a second booster, and that might release like 4 hours into it. And this, the Ritalin, is a 50-50 split. So, you know, if we have IR at the top and then XR here, so 50-50 split here is the Ritalin. The Focalin is the same thing. It's also 50-50. Remember, the Focalin is just the more concentrated version. It's just the D, the dextrom version. It's still got the same methylphenidate mixture to it in terms of IR and XR, just that it's more concentrated. That's why its dosing tends to be half of Ritalin's. When we look at the Metadate now, with the Metadate, so this one's a little bit different. This one is 30-70. And so Metadate tends to be a little bit longer lasting than the Ritalin or the Focalin because, so it doesn't have much of an immediate kick. And so this is useful because sometimes you might want the effect more in the morning. And so the immediate kick of the Ritalin might be more effective here. But if you really want to focus on the duration, that they want that 8-hour duration, right? Like many kids, for example, they might not need it first thing in the morning, but they need to persist during the afternoon. Then the Metadate CD can be helpful because it's like 30/70, so it lasts longer there. A way to think about that is metadate more, lasting more long. Then we have the Quillivant and the Quilichew. These are basically just different formulations. So the Quillivant, this one is the liquid, and then this one is the chew. So it's got chew, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory. So if you have kids who cannot consume the tablets or the capsules, then they can have the chewable version. So the Quillivant is roughly 20/80 mix, and then Quilichew is roughly 30/70 mix. For ease of purposes, I like to think of them both as 30/70s. That way I just remember that, okay, 50/50 and then 30/70 for the other ones. So 30% immediate, 70% extended. But yeah, those are the methylphenidates for the 8-hour. The main thing you got to know is, okay, what's the mixture, like 50/50, 30/70, and then just remember that it's all roughly 8 hours. So that makes it a lot easier to remember. Then for the amphetamine class, so we have Adderall XR, we have Zennies, there's an ER version, and then there's an XR ODT version, and then we have a Dyanavel. So starting from the Adderall XR, right? So same thing as the Adderall IR in terms of the mixture. So the D75, the active one, L25, the not cognitively active one. But the mixture of the IR versus the XR is the same as the methylphenidates. So this is a 50/50 split. So meaning that the 50% of the Adderall is IR given immediately, and then 50% is the XR, which gets released roughly 4 hours later. So that's why it gives it that 8-hour duration. The Zennies here, right? So this is a different formulation. And so with the Zennies, this is also a 50/50. So also 50/50 IR and XR. But what makes this one different is that the DL ratio. So this one, the DL ratio tends to be D75 and then L25. Or actually, no, okay, editor will have to scratch that. But basically, what makes these different, so this ER one is liquid, and then this XR ODT one, so this is oral dissolving. So pretty much just think of Adderall, except now we have liquid form, and then we have oral dissolving form. And then we have the Dyanavel, and so this one is also liquid, right? So now we got two liquids that we are working with, but a little bit different split here. So this is 30 and 70 IR. So we have 30 and 70. So meaning if I need it to last a little bit later during the day and I need a liquid, that's when I'll reach for the Dyanavel. If I need it to last not as long during the day, or if I needed to, yeah, that's when I'll release the Zennies ER. And then also when it'll activate as well. So the XR should activate within, let's say if it's an 8-hour duration, this one XR activate 4 hours in. But right, if we have less of the IR, then the XR is going to activate maybe 3 hours in. So it depends on when you want that peak effect to really kick in. So a little bit of a nuance there. But just remember, like Adderall is the prototypic one, Zennies, ER, Dyanavel, XR, liquid, and then there's an ODT version. All of them have so these two have the 50/50 split. This one has the 30/70, and all of them have the D75 to L25 split. Then we get to the next category, which is the 12 hours. And so for the methylphenidate class, this includes Concerta, Daytrana, and Jornay. So with the Concerta, this is long-acting methylphenidate. It has its osmotic release pump where basically the tablet slowly fills with water, and then as it fills with water, it will displace out the methylphenidate slowly over the course of the day into the system. And so it lasts 12 hours. And so this one, the IR to XR split is 20-80, meaning that 20% gets released immediately, then 80% gets released across the day. And so that's why it is long lasting. Daytrana, now this is pretty much methylphenidate, except in a patch form. And so in the patch form, patients will just slap it on and then it'll release continuously a steady amount throughout the day. So this one doesn't really have an IR and XR component, it's just releasing steadily throughout the day. And then there's the Jornay PM. So this is taken at night and released 8 hours later. So I'll write night. So that's what makes Jornay unique. I have a patient who's taken this right now and she's gotten really good results from it because she'll take it right at bedtime and then she'll wake up and then that Jornay will cause her to wake up, that activation. And then I immediately get started with my day. Whereas a lot of the other ones, it takes time to get them rolling and get them going. So that's why she really likes the Jornay. But yeah, pretty much the same thing, the methylphenidate, except it's at night and then she takes it during the daytime. Then next, if we look, we have Vyvanse. For the Adderall class, we have Mydayis. I hope that you can see this. Yeah, I hope that you can see this. And yeah, so with the Vyvanse, so the Vyvanse is what we call a prodrug, meaning that when they take it, the patient doesn't get the benefit immediately, but rather it has to be metabolized first and then they get the benefit. So this makes it really beneficial for addiction cases, but also helps contribute to its long length. This is pretty much D100. So meaning that it's the pure dextro form and that gets released. And so it's really good for cognitive benefits. And it lasts a long time too, 12 hours. So then I remember Vyvanse is in this category. It's generic, it's called lisdexamphetamine. So that's how I remember the 100. And then the Mydayis as well. So the Mydayis is like it's Adderall again. So this is the D75 and then L25. But the Mydayis has a 33 split. So imagine Adderall XR squared or Adderall XR plus, where basically it's 33% is IR, 33% is XR, and then 33% is delayed or super XR. So Mydayis has a super long lasting duration of 12 to 16 hours, depending on the patient. And pretty much think of it like an Adderall XR squared. But yeah, this is pretty much all the stimulants that you need to know. And when I organize it like this, it makes it just so easy for me to remember it. Organize it by the duration, 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. Organize it by the class that they're in. And then you just understand, okay, what the split is, 50-50, 30-70. And then you just know whether it's fully cognitively active or less cognitively active, more peripherally, right? Because then you can tailor, like, depending on the patient's heart rate, blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, that's pretty much the stimulants broken down, made simple. So I hope this is helpful. If you really want to take your psychiatry learning to the next level, best place to do that is our PMHNP Academy, where you get lessons like this, except for everything in psychiatry and applied to real life patients. So definitely check that out. Otherwise, check out the video at the end of this channel and I'll see you there.